We're 10 days away from President Barack Obama passing the torch to his successor, President-elect Donald Trump. And just in time for this historic transition of power comes a riveting new book by Bret Baier titled 3 Days in January, Dwight Eisenhower's Final Mission. The book focuses on the importance of Ike's farewell address before President Kennedy took office in 1961. Bret Baier, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not going to read everything on the back, but let me just tell you that my pal Dana Perino, who is a big bookophile, if that's such a word, bibliophile, whatever, yesterday on this show said that there could not be higher praise for your book.
Thank you very much.
It's a gift to history. Let me just begin by saying, you know what, we're talking about Donald Trump. What would Ike say to Trump? Now, I thought, but from reading your book, that it's clear both Republicans come into office controlling both the House and the Senate. What would Ike say to Trump?
Work across the aisle quickly, because it could go fast. In 2 years, Eisenhower lost control of both the Democratic House, or the House and the Senate, and they turned it to Democratic control. He ended up working with them and passing a major highway bill that created the highway system we have now. But he would say, get on it, work with them now, and also be cautious about the big decisions, because you have to have dissenting voices in the room.
Now, you know you're a serious guy, but here we have Greg Gutfeld.
By the way, I'm glad you took my advice and changed the title from Killing Eisenhower.
I figured.
Yeah, you don't want any product confusion there.
True. I know.
True. I always ask writers when they write a book, as it's almost over or you've just sent it off, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh, crap, there's something on page, I forgot to take this out, or I forgot to add that, because I think I do that like 30 times when I'm writing a book.
So this book, it starts with President-elect Kennedy meeting President Eisenhower. It ends with President-elect Trump meeting President Obama. And I wrote the ending 3 months before because of the deadline for books. So I had a Clinton ending and a Trump ending.
Like the old-fashioned books where you could choose your ending.
Right. So if you get the book with the Clinton ending, you got the wrong one.
Are you going to release the Clinton ending?
I don't think so.
That's cool, though. You got to do it. Put it online.
Like the golden egg?
I'm not sure if I'm famous or not, but I had a deal for the second book. It was Surviving Hillary.
Well, so much.
Just in case you won. So the other book. Hey, Bret, can I jump in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
And we don't have a lot of time, but the importance of a smooth transition of power. Tell us about it very quickly. And are we experiencing one?
Well, I think it started that way. I don't know if it's ending that way, but it started that President Obama really wanted to do that. Logistically, I hear that all the agencies are working really hard to help the Trump transition. I think the speech is going to be interesting tonight. And, Eisenhower didn't want to list his accomplishments. It wasn't about him. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, I have a follow-up, because that was my question as well. What would Eisenhower say if he had, some time with President Obama in terms of preparing these remarks? What would be one of the most important things he would tell him to try and focus on?
Think about America in the future. Be optimistic, but also express what you've learned. That's what he wanted to do. It took him a year and a half to write this farewell speech.
Wow.
And he wanted to send a message that bipartisan was key, deficits are a problem, and the military-industrial complex is something to work with.
What was the deficit when he wrote that?
It was like $100 billion, something like that.
But, that point, military-industrial complex, I think so many people, especially people in the 1960s, the anti-war crowd, took that as their banner, a military. But, in fact, in this book, you realize that's not what he was talking about.
Yeah, he was talking about the lobbyists, the influence in lawmakers, the circular government officials going to companies, and the influence that has on policy. He also probably would tell President-elect Trump, soon-to-be President Trump, lay off Twitter. Less is more. But we'll see. That could be Trump's hidden hand, to be out there on Twitter and doing stuff behind the scenes.
Well, he was a reserved and, I thought, elegant president. And this book is just terrific. Can't recommend it more highly. Bret Baier, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Bret
Appreciate
Baier.
it.
Bret, thank you so much. Be